Do you view democracy as an American value, something that's very important to the fabric of this country?
No. Where is democracy in the U.S. Constitution?
Oh, okay. So are you...
No, hold on. Where is the word democracy?
I don't think the word democracy is in the Constitution.
So where is the word democracy in any of the founding fathers?
A lot of the founding fathers had extremely elitist viewpoints around who should...
No, hold on. I just want to... You said the word democracy, so I want to get back to our roots.
Yes.
Where is democracy mentioned?
I don't...
In the Federalist Papers, the Constitution, or the Declaration?
I think it's good that this country has moved away from things that were
so
explicitly believed by the founding
in the Federalist
fathers.
Papers, and it's mentioned negatively as a problem. So you ask me, is democracy a fundamental American value? I say no.
Okay.
Because I go back to our roots. And
do you,
Hamilton, Madison, and Jay.
Oh, I know that Hamilton was anti-democracy.
No, well, hold on,
these people thought that people should be owned as
I want to be clear. I am pro-representative government.
Okay.
But I'm not pro-democracy. That's a big difference, and that distinction's important. But you asked very specifically about democracy, which is not an American value. It never has been and never should be, because what is democracy? Democracy is majority rule no matter what.
That's true.
That there's no provisions of checks and balances, no inalienable rights, no separation of powers, pure if the majority gets it, the majority wants it as quickly as possible.
I don't advocate pure democracy. I do understand that we live in a
Cool.
representative, like we live in a republic,
so
and I understand these things.
representative government.
Okay.
And you might say I'm splitting hairs on words, but
yeah.
I'm not.
Well, just coming from a place where on some level we have a level of democracy in this country and people vote and it is part of their civic duty to vote.
Sure.
Yes. Do you not think it is in the greater interest of this country at large that its citizens are as educated as possible to therefore be able to participate in that system?
I think they should be as wise as possible, and I don't think that education and wisdom are the same thing.
Yeah,
in fact,
I understand.
I think college disincentivizes the cultivation of wisdom.
In the age where there is such a hypersaturation of, and we've seen this, like extremely polarizing different, like people are getting their news from wildly different sources.
Yes.
People just don't interact with the other side at all. Do you think that being an autodidact in any sense of the term is going to give you a thorough and rigorous education if you are so likely to end up sucked into these holes where you're never interacting with people who
That's not my only form of learning. I meet a lot of cool people. I learn from people like you and others. I mean, I'm listening when you're talking. It's not just a shtick. You haven't won me over on any of it, but you had an opportunity to. But I'm glad you attempted to. But yeah, I mean, you learn in other ways other than just sitting in a classroom, listening to a professor drone on for 90 minutes and pretending to read his book and paying $20,000 a semester to cheat on the exam at the end of the semester.
I think college is what you make of it. I think
I agree. So is life.
People are selling themselves short on their education
I agree.
if they don't.
You can listen to as many podcasts as you want. You can meet interesting people. And
academia does have an actual level of You have to prove that you're worth your salt, at least to have peer-reviewed papers published, which you don't have to do to start a podcast.
If you get a PhD, yes, but hold on. So is your contention that I'm not informed or not worldly or not wise? I want to be clear.
I'm not making any claims about your specific level of being informed. I'm saying the general rhetoric on the right against education, against higher education specifically.
Why do you think it is? Is it because you think we hate smart people, or is it that there's something happening here that we really think is troubling?
I think it's much easier to control people who are less educated.
See, now you're a conspiracy theorist. So, no, it's...
Anti-intellectualism is a hallmark of fascism.
Do you think we're against higher education because it largely has created an ungrateful, unprepared generation that goes into the American body politic and does not share the core American values of freedom of speech, gratitude for our founding, consent of the governed? In fact, it's hyper-radical. And it's against our traditions, our norms, and our customs, and it's created massive fissures. We call that the woke mind virus, if you will.
Okay, that makes...
It's not because people are easier to control. In fact, we love learning. I learn every day. In fact, that's why I'm pro-Hillsdale College, where it's probably one of the hardest colleges in the country to get into and graduate from. The problem is that when you are learning largely trash and crap, and you're not going in the pursuit of truth, beauty, or goodness, and you're not trying to inculcate wisdom or good character.
There's no oversight on online political punditry to make sure that you're in pursuit of wisdom and goodness.
No, of course
you directly profit from propagating viewpoints that are more polarizing and that suck people deeper into more conspiratorial thinking.
Hold on. So what you're doing is you're actually insulting the audience, not me. because the vast majority of this audience actually enjoys watching my videos and they enjoy hearing from me.
I never said your audience didn't enjoy watching your videos.
Because you say I'm profiting. The way
you do profit, like you financially, you make a ton of money from getting more clicks.
The audience rewards me because they find that I bring some value.
Well, I don't
and
necessarily
that they learn
think
something from
that
me.
whatever gets
I
the
want to get
most
to the next
eyes
question.
on a specific.
But
yeah,
it's easy to attack me as exploitation. What I say is actually very popular and resonates with people. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, Charlie Kirk. I would like to debate you on your claim that democracy is not an American value.
Okay. I mean, it's a very technical argument, but yes.
Okay, well, I say it is an American value because it's established in our Constitution, and it creates elections in Article 1, Section 2 of our Constitution for Congress, and we're a democracy. We have democratic values.
Again, this is a semantic argument, but an important one. And so where does the word democracy appear in the Constitution?
Its definition appears in the Constitution.
But the word does not.
Why does that matter?
Hold on. As I say, it's a semantic argument. So therefore, in the Federalist Papers, which I'm guessing you are familiar with, right? Madison, Hamilton, and Jay wrote it as an explainer of the Constitution. When was democracy mentioned, and how was it presented?
It's mentioned in our Constitution.
Okay, well, it's not though. The word is not. So what you're talking about is representative government, which of course we have. However, democracy is something completely different. Democracy, as was talked about in the Federalist Papers, was talked very negatively. Our own founders spoke negatively about democracy in our Federalist Papers. The authors of the Constitution went negative. You might say, but Charlie, we have elections. Of course we do. So what is the difference between democracy and a constitutional republic? There are big differences. In a democracy, the majority always wins with almost no breaks and no slowdowns of a check and balance system to protect freedoms and liberties. In a constitutional republic, the government starts with certain truth claims that are transcendent and irrefutable. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. The government is here to promote the general welfare, things of this nature. A democracy does not usually have the same kind of separation of powers. A true, actual democracy.
Yeah, we're not a pure democracy.
Right, but the word itself is not in any of our founding documents, and it was actually talked about negatively.
But the idea that we're not a democracy is ridiculous.
We're not,
we still vote.
That's not the attribute. Like I said, that's representative government. It's a constitutional republic.
And
you're thinking way too simple about this. You got to go deeper.
And
I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just saying you got to broaden your horizon. Not every place that has elections is a democracy.
Right, but you also claimed that democracy is a majority rule.
Correct. Yeah.
Do the presidents and do our politicians not have to win a majority amount of votes?
No, they actually don't. They have to win a plurality of the electoral college.
Electoral college, but that's not a majority.
No, actually, it's not. Think about it. You're actually not voting. You're voting for people to vote for you in the electoral college. You're actually voting for. No, that's different. That is a Republican. Hold on. A democracy is that you yourself would vote, and there's nothing in the middle. A small r Republican form of government is you vote for people to vote for you. That's what you do with the House, the Senate, and the Electoral College. You actually aren't voting yourself. You're voting for people to go vote for you. The Electoral College gathers to then go cast a vote on your behalf. That's actually not you voting.
But that describes a representation, like representatives.
Of course, we agree on representative.
Right, and
that's not a democracy.
And we elect these representatives through democracy.
No, okay. Again, this is semantics. I encourage you to do more research, man. I don't want to belabor this.
It's the Constitution. I don't understand.
Do you know what a republic is?
Yes.
Okay, tell me the difference between a republic and a democracy.
So in a republic, you have representatives. And I'm not saying that we aren't both a republic and a democracy. In a democracy, we elect our leaders. In a republic, we elect representatives. So we vote for the representatives.
Yeah, so we're a republic. In a democracy, for example,
vote.
Let me tell you what a democracy looks like. They'd say, hey, today we're going to have an up or down vote on universal health care. Go to the ballot box. That's what a democracy. You vote. Every person will vote on every single issue in a democracy. A lot of ballot referendums, a lot of things of that nature. Now, states can look in more that way. I don't want to belabor this too much. I encourage you to just do more reading.
But it's an American value. It clearly
go
states
ask Grok What did the founding fathers believe? Go to Grok and say, what did the founding fathers say about democracy in the Federalist Papers, and did the word democracy appear in the Constitution?
That doesn't matter if democracy is specifically
Okay, so then let me ask you, what is democracy? Define it.
Democracy is a system or government that's ran by elected leaders.
That's not the definition of democracy. It isn't. Thank you very much.
It's literally right here. The online definition is a system of government by the whole population. Or
The
all
whole
the eligible-
population,
You're
exactly.
right.
I am right. That's
And
not
so
what we
that's-
have. We delegate our authority to elected leaders.
And they still have to have a majority.
Well,
You still
actually,
need a
they-
majority of Congress to vote on a bill.
No, they don't. You have
That's-
pluralities. We also need actually 61% of the vote. In a Republican style of government, things are slower. They are arduous, and you have natural rights that are enshrined that the majority of the people cannot overturn. Thank you very much. I'm not going to keep on going this way.
mutually exclusive?
They are actually
Like,
at
how are
odds
they-
with one another. Again, this is not a civics course. You got to go do more research, man.
This isn't about civics.
You
this
have-
is just basic. This is
Again,
basic.
how about this? Go take 5 minutes, come back, and show me where the word democracy is in the Constitution. You can't find it because it doesn't exist. Thank you.
Okay, I think it's fair, you understand, when Charlie is trying to explain to this guy how he feels U.S. election work, you understand? And I live in a country that practices democracy, and I can say democracy is not helping anyone, you understand? Because if you have the money, you are surely ruling, because you will be able to, campaign more, pay more people to vote for you, and so many other things, and it's not helping. So if Charlie said democracy wasn't supported by the founding father, I think I get why they refuse to support it, because I remember the last election that happened in Nigeria. Well, I would not say, I just feel like what we expected did not happen, because after the election, I saw a whole lot of people. I saw the country, everyone was just upset, you understand? They were not happy with the result, but do we have a choice? No, because why? They feel like what is showing in paper is like the person who won the election won, and you can't debate it because it's what is written over there. It feels like we all give the person our votes, and you can't. That is democracy for you. The highest number of the person with the highest votes become the leader. It also happened in our classes. You understand? I remember when I was in college and they wanted to elect the representative of the class. It was democracy. You understand? They picked 2 people. Okay, if you support this, raise your hand. If you support this other person, raise your hand. The highest supporter won. That is democracy. Democracy is it talks about numbers. You understand? And it does not always help, because when you talk about numbers, when the person that have less to offer win because of he or she popularity, the people suffer. You understand? Because you don't check if this person can deliver. You just let the person rule you because the person is popular, because the person have the numbers. And that is what Charlie is saying. He's saying that it shouldn't be like that. You understand? Let's give this to the competent person and not just the person that has more popularity. Anyway, I love this, and I just wish the guy can do more research. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If it's your first time visiting the channel, click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and remain blessed.